It was horrible. It was the most horrible feeling, because when you're in a room and they tell you can't leave, and it's somebody shooting, you just don't know. And your life just started flashing, in front of your eyes.
Is your shift already over, or are you leaving early?
I'm leaving early. I need to get out of here. No, this scared me too bad. It just traumatized me too much. No.
She loved God. She focused on getting money and taking care of her family. Lord Jesus Christ, she was an amazing person. She was magnificent. She was more than a friend. She was a mother. She was a wife. She did her job.
What would justice in your eyes look like?
Well, we don't have the type of justice for this state, but I mean, just definitely life. If we could give him the needle or something like that, he's the person that deserves it.
Yeah.
Henry Ford Hospital, located on West Grand Boulevard in Detroit, Michigan, is not the kind of place anyone would expect to become a crime scene. But on August 22nd, 2025, that is exactly what it became, when a man walked through those doors and fired at his ex-wife, who worked there multiple times.
Well, murder inside Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit. That is this top story here on Fox 2 News at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, Detroit police searching for the suspected gunman who they say shot and killed his ex-wife inside the hospital. We have team coverage tonight with the latest on the manhunt for 53-year-old Mario Green.
This is Crime on Buzz. Before we get started, leave a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you won't miss out on cases like this. 40-year-old Latricia was known to her family and close friends as Latricia Brown, but after her marriage, she went by Latricia Green. For 20 years, she had worked in housekeeping at Henry Ford Hospital. The people who worked alongside her remembered her as someone who was steady and consistent, the kind of coworker who actually listened when you had something on your mind. She had no children of her own, but those close to her described a warmth that made people feel comfortable with her. She was previously married to a man named Mario Dwayne Green. He was 53 years old and had been in Latricia's life for years before things fell apart. The two married in 2012, the same year Mario was released from prison after serving a 6-year sentence on an arson conviction. Before that, back in 2001, he had picked up a conviction for aggravated stalking. Their marriage lasted on paper until 2018, when Mario filed for divorce. But even after the filing, the two reportedly continued living under the same roof. No children between them, no documented financial reason to stay. They just did. 7 years went by that way. Then, in March 2025, Mario forced her out. Latricia had no backup plan, no apartment lined up, no relative with a spare room she could fall back on. What she did have was her job, and the parking lot that came with it. So that is where she stayed, sleeping in her car, parked at the hospital where she had worked for 20 years. Because being close to familiar faces felt safer than the alternative. That March also marked the beginning of Mario's escalating behavior. He started calling Henry Ford Hospital relentlessly. Not once, not a handful of times, close to 50 calls in total. Some of those calls went directly to Latricia. Others were placed to her coworkers, fishing for her schedule, her location, details about when she would be in and where. Mixed in with those calls were threats. In April, he physically showed up at the hospital and attempted to reach her office. Security stopped him before he got there, and he was formally banned from the property. In July, he got into her car, took her belongings, and deliberately damaged her personal items. A move that was less about theft and more about sending a message. By that same month, Latricia had managed to secure a small apartment, rented under a friend's name, to keep her address hidden. She was furnishing it piece by piece, trying to settle into some version of a normal life again. But Mario's behavior had not stopped. So she went to court. On June 13th, 2025, Latricia filed for a personal protection order at Wayne County Circuit Court. She brought documentation, calls, incidents, dates, everything she had been tracking. The judge reviewed the filing and denied it, citing insufficient detail in her account. Then, on July 20th, she submitted a second petition. This time, she described in her own words what her daily life had become. She wrote about constantly checking behind her, scanning her surroundings every time she stepped outside, never feeling certain she was not being followed. Judge Carla Tostani signed off on the order the next day. 32 days after that approval, Mario walked through the basement entrance of Henry Ford Hospital. On August 22, 2025, at 9:55 in the morning, Mario Green entered the building and made his way to the area where Latricia was working. There was a confrontation, and he fired at her. By the time officers arrived on scene, Latricia had passed away, and Mario was gone. The building locked down immediately. Staff barricaded themselves inside rooms. Visitors could not leave. People sat behind closed doors, not knowing where the threat was, whether it had passed, or whether they were safe.
Our team coverage continues now with 7 News Detroit reporter Ruta Alcenaida live with more from employees who hid in fear and coworkers who say they'll never forget their friend. Ruta.
Yeah, you guys, clearly just an emotional day for those that knew and loved Latricia Green, but also for the employees that were inside the hospital when those shots rang out, who had to run, hide, and pray that they weren't next.
It was horrible. It was the most horrible feeling, because when you're in a room and they tell you can't leave, and it's somebody shooting, you just don't know. And your life just started flashing, in front of your eyes. So
To say Tashina Stevens was shaken up after the deadly shooting inside her workplace Friday morning would be an understatement. Was your shift already over, or are you leaving early?
I'm leaving early. I need to get out of here. No, this scared me too bad. It just traumatized me too much. No.
53-year-old Mario Green allegedly shot and killed his ex-wife in the basement of Henry Ford Hospital just off West Grand Boulevard before taking off. Latricia worked at the hospital and was on shift that day. Those that knew and worked side by side with her are absolutely devastated by the news.
She loved God. She focused on getting money and taking care of her family. Lord Jesus Christ, she was an amazing person.
Henry Ford Hospital was on lockdown for about an hour after the shots rang out before opening back up to patients and visitors. Streets were closed as the manhunt continued for the suspect throughout the afternoon, but staff inside the building say there was a lot of fear and confusion.
they were walking with their guns, like with their hands on it, looking for this person. And we didn't know if he was still hiding, so we didn't know anything.
The disbelief still there too, knowing a life was taken far too soon in such a violent way.
She never did nothing to nobody. She was a nice, generous person.
She was magnificent. She was more than a friend. She was a mother. She was a wife. She did her job.
These employees now just hoping to heal and recover from such a terrifying day at work.
I cannot believe this. Okay, I cannot believe this.
Yeah, clearly emotions still running high, and the employees that are still trickling out of the hospital say they plan on hugging their loved ones just a bit tighter tonight. On the city's west side, I'm Ruta Alcenaida, 7 News Detroit.
Powerful reporting. Our hearts go out to all those affected there.
All of us feeling their shock and fear. Ruta, thank you.
One man had come to the hospital that morning to visit his girlfriend, who had just given birth. During the lockdown, his phone battery was low. He could not get to her, and the room he was in had no lock on the door. He watched officers moving through the corridors from his window and had nothing to do but wait.
Just to hear that a woman lost her life at the hospital where she works, it's just so sad to hear something like that happen, because I mean too, they tell us like this is one of the safest hospitals in Detroit and Michigan to have kids and have a baby, and it's just to hear something like this happening at the hospital, it's like, it was just overwhelming.
The lockdown lasted close to an hour before the all clear came through. Then the news spread through the building about what exactly happened. A woman named Tamara, one of Latricia's closest coworkers, was among the first to find out. The two had spoken almost every day. Tamara had actually gone to Latricia with her own personal problems not long before, leaning on her for advice. What she did not know at the time was that Latricia was quietly dealing with something far heavier than anything she had shared with Tamara.
I broke down in tears because me and her used to talk. Because I was telling her I was having problems with my child's father, and didn't know she was having problems of her own. She really a good person. She don't mess with nobody or nothing.
Henry Ford Hospital released a public statement expressing grief over the loss of a longtime team member and confirmed that an internal investigation had been opened to examine how the security breach occurred. Detroit Police Deputy Chief Williams addressed the media at the scene.
Yeah, so we are joined by Commander, is that right?
Deputy
Chief Arnold. I'm sorry, I have the wrong title. Deputy Chief, what can you tell us? Kind of give us an overview and kind of give me the latest.
About 10 a.m. we had a call that we had active shooter at Henry Ford Hospital. Units got to the scene. We started an investigation. We started going right into our active shooter protocols. We were able to go into the building, locate a female who was shot fatally, and then we were able to build out the story from there. Currently, we're still clearing the hospital to make sure there are no other victims possibly located anywhere else in the hospital. And from all the information in the video we received, the suspect he fled the location prior to us getting here. When the officers got here, you can see we still have the area pretty much cordoned off. We are putting out information that our suspect is in his 50s. His name is Mario Green. He fled this location in a white Charger, I'm sorry. So that's pretty much where we are right now. So we're looking for him. We know who he is. We have his identity, and we'll be probably releasing this picture to the media very soon.
Yeah, and I do believe we have that picture. I know described as 6'4", wearing black, a gold chain, pink backpack. Obviously, that is someone who would definitely stand out in the crowd if he's still wearing that, and also because he is so tall.
Yes, that's 100% true.
And obviously, you guys have cleared. You know that he's not here, but I imagine using all your assets trying to find him throughout the entire Metro Detroit area and beyond.
That's exactly correct. Here we have a lot of federal partners. We have the ATF, we have state police, we have Southfield Police, we have police from all agencies here, as well as the fire department here at this location, but we're also actively looking for him in a couple different locations as well.
What should people do if they see him, if they know him, anything? What is your advice to the public right now?
So if you see him, if you see Mario Green, if you see his vehicle, call 911. Let him know where you saw him, what he's doing, and that's all we ask.
And I have to say, too, that, the level of commitment, but how quickly you guys have worked on this case. I mean, it's impressive. At the end of the day, I said, earlier in our last show that it's horrible that this woman was killed, but the fact that you guys figured out who he was, got a picture out to the media, got the plate out to the media, got the description, that says a lot for your department.
Yes, and again, our department put a lot into it, but we had a lot of help. Michigan State Police, the ATF, we had a lot of assistance with this. We all know how important it is to secure our local infrastructures, hospitals being one of the most important. So we want to make sure everybody knows that they are safe and that we will respond quickly to any issue that we have.
Anything else that you want to update us on? Obviously, right now, this scene has been cleared, and that's why we're seeing police. We're seeing people behind us right now hugging. I don't know if those are family members of the victims, but you have to imagine that this is such a tragedy for a lot of people who knew this woman, who were related to this woman. I mean, this is a very, very sad day for a lot of people.
Very much so. Our heart goes out to the family that lost one of their loved ones. And again, everything we're doing right now, we're still in the process of clearing the hospital. So once the hospital cleared and we're ensuring that there are no other victims, we'll be opening the hospital back up. But again, our hearts go out to the family.
Okay. Thank you so much, Assistant Chief Williams.
Mario Dwayne Green, 53 years old, was named as the suspect. Within hours, one of the largest coordinated manhunts in recent Detroit history was underway. Detroit Police, Michigan State Police, the ATF, the FBI, and the Wayne County Sheriff's Office were all activated. Shortly after 1 p.m, officers located a vehicle connected to Mario, abandoned on Losser Street near 8 Mile Road. Security footage from a nearby home had captured someone running away from the car on foot. The neighborhood was searched, but Mario was not found. At 2:55 the following morning, August 23rd, officers traced him to a home on LeMay Street near East Warren Avenue, a residence belonging to a 54-year-old man named Anthony Lelamont Barnett.
Has been following this manhunt for Mario Green all day while also looking into his background.
Lauren joins us live. Lauren, what did you find and where do things stand right now in this search?
That's right, Kimberly and Ty. We did obtain court documents from his previous convictions, but I first want to start with the search for Mario Green. We've been out here, like you said, for hours today as police were searching the area, and this is the exact spot where they found his white Dodge Charger right across the street there, parked on the corner near the speed limit sign. This is off Losser, not far from 8 Mile, and it's still not clear why he chose this exact area to ditch his car, but tonight we are uncovering more about Green and his past. An all-out manhunt for 53-year-old Mario Green. Police locating his white 2011 Charger on Detroit's northwest side just hours after they say he shot and killed his ex-wife in the basement of Henry Ford Hospital. A neighbor next door saying his cameras captured Green running away.
I look outside, I see police officers. They got my house surrounded. They out here with machine guns, shotguns, bulletproof vests. I'm like, okay, what did I do?
Officers then went door to door talking to witnesses, checking for video. Also search dogs being used to see if they could pick up a scent, but no luck. And all day investigators at Local 4 have been digging into Green's criminal history, uncovering multiple convictions dating back more than 20 years. First in 2001, that's when Green was charged with aggravated stalking. He pleaded guilty and was given 4 years of probation. Then in 2006, he was charged again, this time for arson, serving 6 years in prison. And most recently, he was on probation for failing to pay child support, which ended in June. We also confirmed with Detroit police that the victim did have a valid personal protection order, but it was not served yet, and it's not clear when it was filed. Again, we just confirmed that with Detroit police. Still so many questions tonight, but we know the main thing that law enforcement that they're focused on is finding Mario Green. Live tonight on the northwest side, Lauren Kostick, Local 4.
Really scary that he's still on the run. Lauren, I'm wondering, have you seen any police recently in the area searching since you've been there?
You know, Kimberly, we did get a tip a little bit ago about a large police presence over on 7 Mile, not far from where he ditched his car, but that scene quickly cleared. There was some SWAT there. The chopper was up in the air for a while, for hours during the day, but they have since left. So somewhat quiet right now, but as we know, that can change in an instant.
Yeah, and we'll keep folks posted as we learn more information. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll keep updating you on the latest information here on TV and on our website. Scan the QR code right there on your screen. That will take you to clickondetroit.com. As soon as we learn any new information in this case, the manhunt for Mario Green will bring that straight to you.
Mario was taken into custody without a struggle. Barnett was arrested as well. Barnett was a family man, married, with children and grandchildren. He worked as a furnace operator and blaster at Specialty Field Treatment out in Fraser. On the surface, nothing about him suggested he would end up in the middle of a homicide case. But prosecutors laid out a sequence of events that told a different story. According to the state, the first call Mario placed after leaving that hospital went to Barnett. He told Barnett what had taken place. Barnett's response was to tell him to get rid of his phone immediately, because law enforcement would use it to track his location. Barnett then drove to a Walmart in Roseville and bought a prepaid phone. When police arrived at his door asking about Mario, Barnett told them he was not there. Officers found the prepaid phone inside the house. They arrested both men at the same address. Barnett was charged with accessory after the fact to a felony, lying to a peace officer during a violent crime investigation, and given his prior conviction for unlawfully driving away a vehicle in the 90s, the state added a habitual offender enhancement. His defense argued he was deeply rooted in his community, employed, surrounded by family, and posed no risk of flight. His last criminal case had been decades ago. The prosecution countered that a man who coached someone on destroying evidence and then lied to investigators had already shown he was willing to obstruct justice. That made him a risk. The judge agreed, setting bond at $100,000 cash surety with GPS monitoring as a condition of release.
Calling case number 250-595-8801. This is the case of the people of the state of Michigan versus Anthony Lee Lamont Barnett. who's charged with count 1, accessory after the fact to a felony, count 2, lying to a peace officer, violent crime investigation, with an habitual offender, second offense notice. I'm also calling case number 250-595-8901, which is the case of the people of the state of Michigan versus Mario Dwayne Green, who's charged with count 1, homicide, murder, first degree, premeditated, count 2, firearms discharged in or at a building, count 3, aggravated stalking, count 4, weapons, firearms, possession by a prohibited person, count 5, weapons, felony, firearm, count 6, weapons, felony, firearm, count 7, weapons, felony, firearm, count 8, weapons, felony, firearm, with an habitual offender, fourth offense notice. Will the parties please identify themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. APA Larry King for the people on both files, P78774.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jennifer Coldthirst, P52876. I am here on behalf of Mr. Anthony Lee Lamont Barnett. Sir, state your name.
Anthony Lee Lamont Barnett.
Good morning, Your Honor, to you and your staff. Brian Berry, P76788, appearing on behalf of Mr. Mario Green.
All right. Mr. Barnett, can you please state your name?
No,
Green. Barnett, Anthony Lee Lamont Barnett.
Green.
And Mr. Green, can you state your name as well?
Mario Dwayne Green.
All right. Thank you both. All right. Counsel Coldthirst, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, I'd like to set this for a preliminary examination.
Right. And while it looks like Mr. Barnett was arraigned on the warrant of August 25th, that would mean his 21 days would be September 17th. However, I'm not sure if that would be adequate time. How were you in discovery?
Your Honor, I was just assigned to the case.
You're breaking up.
Attorney Coldthirst, we can't quite hear you. The signal's kind of bad, so what I'm going to ask you to do, why don't you turn off the video, leave your audio on, and then I can hear what you're saying.
Certainly.
All right, now you were saying.
Your Honor, I'm in need of the discovery. I've not received anything. I was just assigned to the case less than an hour ago.
I understand. So I think that there's good cause to go beyond 21 days, given you've just been assigned the case. And you'll need time to get the discovery, time to review it, and time to review that with your client. And let's see, Attorney Berry, how about you? What is your intent with Mr. Green?
Thank you, Judge. In a similar position, I was just recently spot appointed a little while ago. I spoke to Mr. Green. He understands that he has a right to have a preliminary exam within 21 days, and he is willing to waive that right, Judge, so that we can get discovery, review it, and have a fruitful discussion.
All right, Mr. Green? Sir, can you hear me, Mr. Green?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
All right, did you hear what your attorney just said, Mr. Green?
Yes.
All right, so as he mentioned, you do have a right to have your preliminary examination within 21 days of being arraigned on the warrant. However, because Attorney Berry has just been appointed to your case, he literally has just talked to you within the last couple minutes, and he has not received discovery for this case. On your behalf, he's requesting additional time beyond the 21 days so that he can, 1, obtain the discovery, 2, review that discovery, and 3, then review that discovery with you in preparation for your preliminary examination. Having said that, are you okay with us going beyond the 21 days so that he can accomplish those 3 things?
Yes.
All right. And Attorney Coldthirst, while I believe that there's good cause for both defendants, I'm going to ask your client the same. So, Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
All right, sir, did you hear kind of what I just went through? I'll lay it out for you. So, again, Attorney Coldthirst has just been appointed to your case, and I know she's just spoken to you within the past few minutes. She, as well, will need additional time to, 1, obtain the discovery for your case, 2, time to review that discovery, and 3, time to review that discovery with you in preparation for your preliminary examination. Having said that, you have a right to have your preliminary examination within 21 days of being arraigned on the warrant. But to give your attorney time to go through these things, she has requested. No, I shouldn't say that you requested attorney call first. I think I established that I found that there was good cause. But if I'm correct, you're asking to go beyond the 21 days for that. Am I correct, Attorney Cawthorst?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So with that, Mr. Barnett, do you mind just going beyond 21 days so that your attorney has time to look at those discovery materials and review them with you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. So both defendants are going to waive the 21 days. Having said that, I am looking at a potential date for this preliminary examination. And Attorney King, I should ask you, for Mr. Barnett, these charges are, I don't see that this will be one examination. It looks like 2, but I think you mentioned there are probably going to be overlapping witnesses. Am I correct?
That's right, Judge. I would agree that it's 2 distinct examinations, but there's witnesses that overlap, specifically through the investigating officers.
Okay. How many witnesses do you have for Mr. Barnett's case?
Between 2 and 3, Judge.
And then how many do you have for Mr. Green?
Between 4 and 5, and the 2 and 3 from Mr. Barnett's will also be needed at Mr. Green's. So I'd say it's an additional 2 to 3. Additional 1 to 2, sorry.
All right, so for that 2 to 3, how long are you looking at? I'm trying to gauge how long it's going to take for these 2 exams within the day.
So Mr. Barnett's examination, I anticipate being the shorter of the 2.
Clearly.
I could probably wrap that in an hour. I would need additional time, maybe up to 2 hours, to present the evidence for Mr. Green's preliminary examination. And that's assuming we don't have additional delays, lengthy crosses, or lengthy arguments.
We were looking at that afternoon for the 16th, but I don't know. That scares me for that.
No. Afternoon, maybe it's probably morning.
We already have
It's
9:30 on that day.
2 or 9:30.
On the 16th. The 23rd, we have 9:30 solely.
Around about 7, 8.
No, you know what? We can do the 23rd. There's something else that's going to take that up the slot. 23rd is not
Looking at which month?
So we're looking at September's already done.
Right. Not this.
I'm in October. So I saw.
Or unless you go to the end. Not the 30th.
We can't. The 30th, that's a 6th defendant case. That may be all day.
It's not sure.
Foolish.
Or the 4th of November. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. They can have all day.
You don't need all day. You shouldn't.
Well, they can come in at 9:30.
I apologize, I'm having a hard time hearing the court. Are we talking about dates?
Yeah, well, I'm not discussing dates with you. I'm talking with my clerk.
Oh, okay. I apologize, Judge. I apologize.
I'm just concerned. I've got the afternoon of October 16th, but starting at 1:30, I'm a little concerned that may not be enough time.
I will say that that's a very good day for me. I do not have any trials or other obligations that day.
I have a trial on the 16th.
Okay, well then that takes care of that anyway. All right, so then, unfortunately, what I'm going into, it would be I'm full on September. I'm full in October. So that would take me to November 4th.
Your Honor, unfortunately, I am set to be in a trial the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of November. I am free the 6th and 7th.
I can do either of those dates, 6 or 7 is fine.
Your Honor, the 6th or 7th also works for my schedule.
All right, so we can take November 6th at 11:30. That'll give you a start in the morning, and then we have all the afternoon.
Very good, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, so we'll put both of those on for that time. That way we can handle both of those exams kind of, we'll take it as you will, how many witnesses are here. We can go with either one. So again, we'll put both of those on for 11:30 on November 6th, since you got the same witnesses for the prosecution.
Very well, Judge. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
All right. Anything further?
Yes, Your Honor. As to bail regarding Mr. Anthony Barnett, defense is respectfully requesting a downward modification of the $100,000 cash bail. Mr. Barnett is 54 years old, unmarried. He is the father of one child. However, he has raised 6 others and has 15 grandchildren. He did attend high school. He went up to the 12th grade. He's currently been working full-time with a company out of Fraser called Specialty Steel Treatment. He's a furnace operator and a blaster. He has strong ties to the community. He could stay.
You breaking up? We can't hear you.
Attorney Callthurst?
Pardon?
We couldn't hear you. I'm not sure if you're moving around. If you are, you might want to stay still for a moment. Try that once again. We couldn't quite hear you.
My client is not a flight risk. He can reside with his godbrother, Marlon Cook, whose phone number is 313-289.
Well, I don't think you need to do quite that at the moment, but go ahead. Keep going.
Yes. And the godbrother resides in the city of Warren. My client, again, is responsible for continuing his employment so that he will not have to depend on the government to survive. I understand he has been habitualized as a second offender. However, it appears that his last contact was way back in 1990. Your Honor, my client does not use or abuse any controlled substances. He doesn't have any mental health history. However, since his confinement in the Wayne County Jail, he has been very low in spirits, depressed, probably needs some medication to overcome this confinement in a secured facility. He is respectfully requesting, Your Honor, to please give him the opportunity to post a more reasonable bail. The $100,000 is excessive.
Prosecution?
He has no violent contacts in the past, meaning violent convictions.
Prosecution?
Yes, Judge. My argument in this is going to be the same as was presented at arraignment and at the bond redetermination hearing, and that's this. I believe that Mr. Barnett is an unreasonable flight risk based on the allegations in this case. It is alleged that after the death of the victim in Mr. Green's case, Mr. Green called Mr. Barnett and explained to him what was going on. It is alleged that Mr. Barnett advised Mr. Green to ditch his cell phone because the police may be tracking it. Mr. Barnett then went to Walmart in Roseville and bought a burner cell phone that was recovered in his home, where he and the defendant, Green, were both arrested after he had lied to the police about knowing or not knowing the whereabouts of Mr. Green. You couple this with the lengthy list of outstanding traffic warrants that were out for Mr. Barnett at the time of his arrest, and it just shows a pattern here, Judge, of a person who does not come to court, does not follow through, knows how to evade police, knows how to evade arrest, and has no problem lying to law enforcement. I think he is an unreasonable flight risk. I believe bond is appropriate under these circumstances, and I ask that bond remain as is.
All right, whenever there's a request for a bond modification, the court has to consider two factors. One, whether the defendant is a flight risk. I am concerned about that. Given these charges, the charges in and of themselves cause me concern that he's a flight risk, in that they are, in effect, charges regarding really avoiding prosecution, and as well as lying to the police, or at least these are the allegations. Again, I've heard no testimony thus far, only allegations, not testimony. So these are only charges. However, the nature of the charges themselves are quite serious. One, and they seem to indicate a pattern of attempting prosecution and helping not only to avoid prosecution, but helping to avoid apprehension altogether. So I'm concerned about my number one factor, or the number one factor, flight risk. In addition, the other factor the court has to consider is safety of the public. I'm concerned, again, these charges, I have to take this case on its own, but it's related to another case regarding alleging a homicide. And the charges for Mr. Barnett are such that it is alleged that he is helping someone who is charged with murder, in effect, to avoid, again, being apprehended by the police and avoid prosecution. Those things cause me concern for the safety of the public as well. I would note also, Mr. Barnett does have a prior conviction, and while it is from some time ago, I would note that it's for unlawfully driving away an automobile. So again, that's a flight issue right there as well, but that's another concern. In addition to that, I would note when he was arraigned on the warrant regarding this case on August 25th, the magistrate who handled the case on that date set a bond of $100,000 cash or surety. I would note that Mr. Barnett was then given a bond redetermination hearing before the Chief Judge of 36th District Court, our own Judge William C. McConaughey. Judge McConaughey saw fit to have the bond continue. I'm not sure if I've heard anything different than those two people had, but based on what I have heard today, I'm concerned, especially for the two factors that the court has to consider, flight risk as well as the safety of the public. And so for that reason, I'm not going to modify the bond. The bond shall remain as is.
Will the Honor consider referring the case to the defendant screening unit?
I will.
Please.
I'll order a DSU.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right?
Thank you, Judge. I would simply ask for a DSU referral for Defendant Green.
All right. I'll order a DSU for Mr. Green as well. All right. Anything further?
Not from the people, Judge.
Defense?
Yes, nothing on behalf of Mr. Barnett. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.
All set up, Mr. Green, Your Honor.
All right. Have a great day.
Mario Dwayne Green faced the following charges. Count 1, first-degree premeditated homicide. Count 2, discharging a firearm in a building, resulting in loss of life. Count 3, aggravated stalking. Count 4. Possession of a firearm by a prohibited person. Counts 5 through 8, 4 felony firearm counts. And with multiple prior felony convictions behind him, a habitual offender 4th offense enhancement was added. Mario appeared in court on August 25th. His attorney entered a not guilty plea. Bond was denied. Court dates were initially set for early September, a probable cause conference on the 4th, and a preliminary examination on the 11th. Both were later pushed back after new legal counsel came on board for both defendants, with the preliminary examination moved to November 6, 2025. Mario remained held in custody. Barnett was out under GPS monitoring, staying with his godbrother in Warren and continuing to report to work.
Ford hospital shooting back in August. The Detroit man accused of killing his ex-wife inside the hospital will stand trial.
The shooting leaving people across Metro Detroit fearing for the worst at what should be a place of healing.
Police say Mario Green walked into the Detroit campus, shot his ex-wife, then left the scene. Green was arrested early the next morning.
But today's testimony brought new light to the case through witness accounts and new surveillance video. 7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham talking with Brown's loved ones today outside the courtroom. Darren?
It's the beginning of justice for us.
Deonda and Dia Easley tell me they left court feeling overwhelmed with new information regarding their cousin Latricia Brown's death, on top of facing her alleged killer, Mario Green. Brown divorced Green in 2018. Detroit police say the 53-year-old killed his ex-wife when he showed up to her job at Henry Ford Hospital August 22nd. On the stand, one of her coworkers recalled Green's interaction with the victim seconds before the shooting.
Do you recall the nature of the conversation between Mario and Trish?
He was just asking her questions like, oh, I need help with a bill. Can you come out to the hall? And she was working and answering his questions.
What happens next after you hear their conversation?
I heard a gunshot.
Brown's coworker, who says she didn't see where the shot came from, called 911.
Where was Trish?
In the room with me, on the floor dead.
Coincidentally, the officer in charge of the case, Isaac Lamas, testified that he happened to be at the hospital already.
I was investigating a homicide that happened a couple hours prior.
Lamas says he started searching the building for the suspect, but by then, Green had already left. Green shouldn't have been there in the first place. The 40-year-old victim had filed multiple personal protection orders against him for stalking and vandalism. Take a look. This officer-worn body camera footage shows Green at her job in April.
So what's going on with you? I'm talking to you though. She don't talk because I didn't call you. She called you. Can I get additional officers? That's my wife.
A judge denied her PPO request in June, but a PPO was approved in July. However, it was never served. After Brown's murder, Green was on the run, sparking a large-scale manhunt. His car was spotted in northwest Detroit hours after the shooting, but it wasn't until early the next morning that he was arrested on the city's east side. Green's defense attorney maintains his client's innocence, calling it a shoddy investigation.
I don't see how we get to Mr. Green as being the shooter, or that he was stalking, or that he was there without consent.
Latricia didn't deserve what happened to her at all. And our prayer is that no one else, no other family has to go through what we went through, and that Latricia's words will be received and heard and justice will be served.
Green's next court date is December 26. Outside 36th District Court, Darren Cunningham, 7 News Detroit.
Darren, thank you. And
The grief at the hospital did not subside quickly. Latricia's family struggled to put into words what they had lost. They had noticed the warning signs while she was alive. They had tried to help, but it was not enough. In the days after the incident, a woman came forward voluntarily. She had seen Mario's face on the news and recognized him from more than 2 decades earlier. Her name was Katina. She said she had never felt ready to speak publicly about what happened between them back in 2001. But Latricia's case changed that. Katina was 20 years old when she and Mario crossed paths through work and briefly dated. When she ended things, he would not let it go. He started appearing wherever she went. Notes on her car, unexpected appearances at places she frequented. One afternoon, he followed her to a friend's house. The moment he realized her friend was a man, things escalated. He confronted her, forced her out of her vehicle, and told her directly, if she was not going to be with him, she would not be with anyone. Katina went to the police that same day. She obtained a restraining order and made sure it was formally served. Once it was, Mario backed off completely. He entered a guilty plea and received 4 years of probation. She admitted that when Mario was on the run, she genuinely feared he might come for her next.
We begin tonight with a woman opening up about her experience with the man accused of shooting and killing his ex-wife at the hospital where she worked.
Welcome to 7 News Detroit at 6. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Mike Duffy. Thank you for joining us.
Mario Green is accused of killing his ex-wife, Latricia Green, at Henry Ford Hospital where she worked.
While the suspect went into hiding, we're now learning that his ex-girlfriend feared for her safety, thinking she could be his next target.
Well, tonight she is talking to 7 News Detroit reporter Rudolph Sinaida about her violent encounters with the suspect and raising awareness about domestic violence in her honor.
That ex-girlfriend is Katina McLenny. She says her and Mario Green dated back in 2001 when she was just 20 years old. She says she wasn't brave enough to speak up back then, but she is now, and she's doing it for Latricia Green.
What would you want to tell her if she was sitting here today?
I'll fight for you.
Katina McKinley has found her voice and is using it to stand up for someone who lost theirs, Latricia Green. Mario Green is accused of shooting and killing his ex-wife at Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit last Friday. That's a name and face Katina hadn't heard in decades until she saw his photo on the news.
My heart just felt like it dropped into my feet because I hadn't seen him since 2001.
Katina says her and Mario met through work when she was young, and they had a brief relationship. She eventually wanted out, and that's when he allegedly began following her, stalking her, even leaving notes on her car. Then it all came to a dramatic peak.
He followed me to a friend's house one day, and because it was a man, I guess that upset him, and that's what led to him chasing me down and making me get out of my car and putting a gun to my head because, as he said, if I wasn't gonna be with him, I wouldn't be with anybody.
Katina says she filed a police report that day and got a restraining order against Mario. He then never contacted her again. But Latricia wasn't so lucky. She was granted a personal protection order back in July, but it was never served.
This never should have happened to me, her, or anybody else. If a person wants to leave, they have that right to leave.
Jenny Hooper is the interim executive director over at First Step, a domestic violence and sexual assault agency in Wayne County. She says she's not surprised Mario is allegedly a repeat offender.
That is a pattern behavior. That is what we know about abuse.
Green was arraigned on Monday, along with an accomplice that was allegedly helping him hide out during that manhunt. Green pleaded not guilty, but Katina says she knows the truth of what happened to her and will do everything in her power to get justice for Latricia.
What do we do? Because this is happening too often.
In Detroit, I'm Rudolph Sinaida, 7 News Detroit.
Certainly helps when people speak up so others learn lessons from it.
Yeah, thankfully she is. Thank you.
Henry Ford Hospital committed to a full review of its security infrastructure and vowed to implement stronger protective measures going forward. These cases spark conversation for a reason. Be the person to offer help if someone needs it. Trust your instincts and don't ignore warning signs. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one on Crime on Buzz. Thanks for watching.